When people think of obesity, the mind often jumps to junk food, soda, fries, processed snacks, and sugar-laden treats. While these undeniably contribute to weight gain and chronic disease, a narrower, and sometimes misleading, narrative has emerged that simply avoiding unhealthy foods will prevent obesity. The truth is more nuanced, and in some cases, more uncomfortable. Obesity is frequently driven not just by the type of food consumed, but by the total quantity, even when those calories come from foods labeled healthy, natural, or clean. It's not just what we eat, but how much, how often, and under what conditions. Caloric excess, regardless of food source, remains the most immediate cause of body fat accumulation. This is a crucial distinction because it challenges the simplistic good food versus bad food paradigm. Many individuals who diligently avoid processed foods still struggle with their weight, unaware that consistent overconsumption of even nutrient-dense items can create a chronic energy surplus. Brown rice, avocado, nuts, olive oil, sweet potatoes, fruit smoothies, and even whole grain breads are staples of a well-balanced diet, but they are also calorie-dense. A handful of almonds becomes two, a drizzle of olive oil turns into a pour, and a fruit bowl meant for two is polished off alone. These small indulgences may seem harmless, but when added together and repeated daily, they quietly tip the energy scale in the wrong direction. Portion distortion is especially dangerous when foods are perceived as virtuous. When people feel they are eating something healthy, they often underestimate its caloric load and overestimate how much they can safely consume. This phenomenon, known in behavioral research as the health halo effect, has been shown to lead individuals to eat larger portions and feel less guilty afterward, even if the total intake ends up being higher than if they had chosen something unhealthy but controlled. In this way, our moral judgments about food can blind us to the most fundamental truth of weight gain. The body stores unused energy, regardless of the source. It is worth issuing a clear warning here. Individuals trying to lose weight by clean eating alone, without regard to portion size, satiety signals, or energy expenditure, may find themselves disappointed or confused. Eating organic or unprocessed food is beneficial for many reasons, including better nutrient quality and lower inflammation. But these benefits do not make someone immune to the physics of metabolism. A 700-calorie smoothie made from bananas, almond butter, and oat milk may be free from artificial ingredients, but it still contains more energy than many people need in a single sitting, especially if paired with other meals and snacks throughout the day. Good intentions do not cancel out biological realities. To be clear, this should not be interpreted as a condemnation of healthy foods or a green light for junk food. Rather, the goal is to draw attention to the fact that total energy balance, how much you take in versus how much you expend, remains the core mechanism behind fat storage. Overeating in any form, even of so-called superfoods, will lead to weight gain over time. This doesn't mean calorie counting is the only solution, but it does mean mindfulness around quantity is non-negotiable for those seeking weight stability or fat loss. Another important factor to consider is how modern food environments encourage passive overeating, often without any malicious intent. Large portion sizes, constant availability, distraction while eating, especially with screens, and erratic schedules make it easy to exceed energy needs without any sense of indulgence. A person can eat 3 generous but healthy meals, a few healthy snacks, and a couple of nutrient-dense beverages, and end the day hundreds of calories over maintenance, without ever feeling they cheated. That's how fat gain happens gradually, subtly, and frustratingly. There is a hopeful message here too. Recognizing that obesity can result from even well-meaning overeating opens the door to change that doesn't rely on extremes. You don't need to eliminate whole food groups or demonize specific items. Instead, small, consistent strategies like reducing portion sizes, eating slowly, tuning into true hunger, and balancing meals with movement can yield meaningful, sustainable progress. Focusing on energy awareness rather than strict food morality may offer more freedom and fewer feelings of guilt or failure. It also respects the reality that humans enjoy eating, and that pleasure doesn't have to be divorced from health. It just needs to be grounded in balance. In the end, we must stop pretending that food quality alone is the key to fighting obesity. While the nutrient content of what we eat clearly affects our health, hormones, and long-term disease risk, the sheer volume of intake still governs the most basic equation of fat accumulation. Calories may not be the full story, but they are still part of the story, and ignoring them, especially in the context of health-conscious eating, is one of the quiet drivers of weight gain today.